again. Another black person shot by the police in Ohio. And at this point, I'm beginning to think, we have to do something about this because I don't know. We can't have a society without police officers, but this is absolutely ridiculous. What happened to Donovan Lewis shouldn't happen to anybody. You shouldn't be in your bed sleeping. A cop kicks open your door and expects you to magically comply at 2:30 in the morning. You're not even sure if you're asleep or you're awake. What's happening? Are you dreaming right now? And then before you know it, within 1 second, before you're even able to come out of that sleep, you're shot. And I mean, I think we have to maybe take a look at the the warrant because maybe that's the way we have to tackle this because I don't see it. I don't see a way out of this aside from rioting.
Well, these are just cops being cops. It's the same story over and over and over again. This is yet just another perfect example of why we should just remove firearms from police officers. They don't need it. So they're already decked out in body armor. They have dogs, they have tasers, they have batons, they have pepper spray, they have a million other cops all around them. They have armored vehicles and tanks and everything else, gas. So they don't need firearms. When they came to this person's house, it was clear after like a couple minutes of interaction with the first two occupants of the home that everybody there was anesthetized, right? It wasn't that they were just waking up out of a sleep. They were coming out of a stupor. They were doing something. I don't know what drugs they took, but you could barely understand what they were saying. They could barely move. They could barely even react when they saw their dead friend being hauled out of the house. So there, it was clear that there was no need to be on that level of high alert, especially when you got all your buddies there, you got the dog, you got tasers, you got pepper spray, you have a million other options to handle the inebriated individual who's moving at sloth speed, And then they come in and they slowly open the door. He sees the person, and while looking at the person, he raises his pistol up to head height and instantly fires one shot. It looked like it hit the head. I don't know exactly because, they only have 480p resolution for some reason on the body cams. But they shoot him and then they start giving him commands. It's like, come out now, start crawling, come over here. And then after a while, they're finally like, yeah, he's close to dead. So we're going to have to go in there. And then when they're going in there and they're like, oh, we're going to help you, buddy. Don't worry. Let's see. Begin treatment. let's stop the bleeding. Stop resisting. It's like, what are you doing? Are you trying to help? Or are you trying to come up with yet another excuse to shoot this person? It's time. They need to take away the weapons from the police. It's been shown time and time again that they are the ones that cannot handle firearms. Your average citizen can. The police officers cannot, and they don't even need it. They have alternatives.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna be on board for that, and it puts us right back into the situation that we are right now, right? That's kind of my problem that I'm having with this. It's like I'm trying to I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can. I'm trying to be as good faith as I can to these idiots in blue. But it really does get hard to defend them. And I'm trying to see reason because it looks like this world is on a crash course to chaos at this point. And at the end of the day, we do want cops. And if someone's breaking into my house, okay, maybe I'll handle it myself. But if 50 people are out there breaking into my house, I want to be able to call the cops and say, "Yo, I'm gonna need 10 of you guys to come in and help me out. I'll get them from the front, but y'all need to get them from the back, right? We can mow them down. It's fine." I want to believe that they won't then just turn around and say to me, "Hey, stop resisting." And then when I'm on the floor, they're gonna ask me while I'm bleeding out to crawl to them. It makes no sense what I'm actually seeing. It's ridiculous.
No, no,
But
no.
the thing that gets me here more than anything else is why the hell does it make sense for you to have a no knock or whatever warrant for 2:30 in the morning? What is the point? If Why not just wait until 9 in the morning? Why not wait until 10 in the morning? Why not wait until he comes out of his house and then get him? Because at the end of the day, if all you're serving is a you mishandled a firearm and you assaulted someone, you can wait outside of his house. You can wait until he's awake. It's just there has to be something done about this. And it can't just be arrest this cop and put him in prison. Because you're right. It's damn near all of them. So we
Well,
need something else. Take away these late night warrants, take away these no knock warrants. And if that don't work, then I don't even want to take a maybe we should just go back to the Wild West at this point.
well, like I was telling you, there is the solution. You take away their firearms because you're saying that nobody would ever go for it, but people would, right? There were entire states that were going for defunding the police altogether, but you don't need to defund them. You can have the same knuckleheads working in the police department, just take away the thing that kills people. And then, uh, what you're saying about getting rid of no knock warrants and late night warrants and things like that. Of course, people have been saying that for a long time. We shouldn't really have those, with the exception of something at a national threat level. Like if there's something there where they're saying it's like, oh, there's a person with a nuclear weapon and there's a dead man switch attached, and he's currently sleeping, so it's like, okay, for that you can sneak in there in the middle of the night and do what you got to do to prevent the nuke from going off. But for everything else, just set the warrant for the morning time or lunchtime or whenever you think the guy is just going to walk out of his house to go get a cup of coffee, and snag him then, and then you can go into the house when it's unlikely that there's anybody there and look for your paraphernalia and contraband when he doesn't have the opportunity to hide it or flush it or anything like that. It's a logical way to do it, and they don't do it that way because it's more fun for them if they get the opportunity to kill somebody. But to your other point, where you're saying that you want to be able to call the cops and have them handle the 50 people that are trying to break in and coordinate on there. No. You have to learn how to play the game. If you're going to call the police for help, you have to be very, very clear with what's going on, right? So if there's 50 people in front of your house trying to break in, you can't just call and be like, oh my God, there's people with guns outside. I need help. Please send the police right away. Because now they have very little information. They just know that there's a bunch of people with guns at this address, and you're also at that address, and they're not going to differentiate between outside of the house, inside of the house, gun, no gun, whatever kind of person you are versus whatever kind of people are outside. They're just going to go shoot them all and figure it out at the end. So you have to be very specific. You have to say, there's 50 feminists outside protesting that cat food is too expensive at the moment and they need to reduce the prices, and several of them have blue hair and the other ones have weird mattresses behind them with red stains on it. I don't know what that's all about, but it's all that kind of person. I'm inside the house, they're outside the house, so just let the officers know that they just need to deal with whoever is outside of the home and female, and then everything else is fine. Or you know female or effeminate, either one. Those are outside of the house. The masculine man is inside the house. Everything is fine. You just deal with that, and I'll stay on the phone with you while the police arrive so we can coordinate together. And that's how you stay alive in that situation. Also, don't forget to duck, right? Because even though you're on the inside, they're on the outside. The police are going to open up and there's just going to be bullets whizzing everywhere. They're probably going to get your neighbors and animals and all sorts of things outside. So you need to be inside on the phone with 911, heavily on the description, and then ducking behind as much cover as you can possibly find. And remember, everybody, there's a difference between concealment and cover. So you're already concealed inside the house, but what you're really looking for is cover.